Hello, beautiful people. How are you? I would like to take this time to try to shine some light on a subject that I honestly think needs to be put out into the universe, and for people that are seeking it and want to take the time to listen to this video, this recording, then you will find something quite unique in it, because this is a perspective that I am putting forward based upon things that I have had a chance to see in life, and where God and that great energy has led me and shown me, and ultimately to be at this point in life right now. Now, I've recently noticed that there isn't much information on the Nazi supercomputer, the Beast. Now, this is what this video, I'm going to entitle this video, it's about it. Now, we all know what the Bible says about the mark of the beast, and, without this mark, you won't be able to get food, you won't be able to do anything without having this mark. Well, I personally think this mark is IBM's radio frequency identifier chip, RDIF. IBM makes that chip. One of the other things that IBM was responsible for doing is making the hole punch machine for the Nazis. That was the sole reason why the Hebrew people were tattooed. They were reduced to a number. Again, the mark of the beast. So the way this hole punch system worked is, say you have a card, and say you have numbers 1 through 10 going horizontal and diagonally. Now, you have different variations through the whole card. So you punch a hole at, say, 2 and, say, 5 going vertical, 2 horizontal. And so then you have 10, a variation of different unique numbers. And so basically those are the numbers that they had tattooed, and these cards had their name and information on them. This was an IBM system. So now IBM is coming with the RDF, and in Texas they're trying to forcefully have kids at school wear this radio frequency identifier chip around their neck. There are chips that are known to be as small as a grain of rice. Samsung has actually built another chip that's even smaller than that. So again, I want to bring your attention to so-called UFOs and alien abductions, and the stories about people claiming that there's a chip under their skin, and these people can actually read their thoughts and track them. Well, I actually believe it's IBM and the Nazis that were brought over to the United States, and with their Nazi Bell, that is the UFO project that the Nazis perfected, and then the Nazis killed all of their scientists that actually were able to build this machine so they could make sure that no one else had this technology. Well, the fact of the matter is the Nazis kept how they did it and kept the blueprints a secret with a specific group of people, and those scientists came over to America. and started to work at NASA and started to build the very secret space program we have today, and continue to experiment on people and to push their IBM Nazi technology even further. And right now we have the RDF, and which, you know, it is their mark of the beast. So now I want you to really get a clear picture of what I feel has been going on, and through lies and deception. I mean, even if you watch History Channel and you think you're getting educated, you're only lying to yourself. You're getting fed Nazi regurgitated bullshit history, because the Disney Channel owns Walt Disney. So Walt Disney, we all know, was a big Nazi enthusiast, was a Nazi himself, a pedophile. There's tons of Walt Disney videos and articles about how sick and twisted Disney is. If you really start to understand what Disney has done to the American public, and since we were kids, shoved this perversion subliminally down our throat with the Nazi propaganda. Well, I want you to understand that the Hindu history of Verminas, their UFOs, that's bullshit. I strongly urge you to watch the documentary that you can see on YouTube, Ancient Aliens Debunked. So what the Nazis have actually done is they set up companies to teach us false history, to actually glorify their so-called aliens that I believe they actually have created themselves, these hybrids of, like, say, human and reptilian, human and fish. I mean, all kinds of perversions that they created. And now they're going to try to reveal these things to the earth and try to tell the earth people that they're aliens that came from the Buru or whatever, or they're offsprings of their blue Hindu gods. Because once you start to understand the Nazis and Hinduism, and how the Nazis went and really studied the cult of Hindus and their whole BS about their blue gods, and then you see, you know, movies like Avatar, and you see these blue aliens, that's the Hindus' blue gods. And also another big thing that the Nazis borrowed from the Hindus is the swastika. So now you get a really clear picture of what they've actually done. You know, because after you see Ancient Aliens Debunked, and actually you really see history and actually understand that man did build the pyramids. There were no aliens, and how these Indians and how all these people want to claim this and this and this, and trying to give credit to their so-called brothers from outer space, or their so-called ancestors, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes, did this. And actually what they're actually trying to do is they're trying to belittle the psyche of men and try to enslave our minds. So when they do actually implement their last Project Bluebeam, their coming of their aliens, and get man to actually bow down to these false gods, the blue Hindu gods, the reptilian gods, their lies that they created. And this is their ultimate thing. This is why the Nazis burned books. So there would be no place where you could go back and read this and that and actually understand history. But Ancient Aliens is based off a man named Sitchin. A man that, you know, you can go online and go to the website. Sitchin is wrong. He's fucking Nazi enthusiast, Nazi bullshit artist. None of anything that he says is based in fact. And then you have Zeitgeist, which was based on all of these sentient bullshit so-called facts, which Zeitgeist was another of their Illuminati Nazi movies. And people are so shocked to hear this. What is so shocking to know that a truth, evolution, and revolution is coming, and that you know what you do, and you're going to make a movie actually telling people what you do, and denouncing God and Christ, and running their name through the mud, and then in the end, this is your futuristic, godless, city, the Venus Project. Now I just read your Nazi Freemason director who directed Avatar, James Cameron, who is also a Freemason, also one of Disney's biggest Freemason producers, has just agreed to take charge of the Zeitgeist Venus Project. So, do you honestly think this is all like a coincidence? It's all their big master plan, people. So, what I want you to see is this, and please start thinking logically and stop giving your power to these sick, inbred, wretched, 13 bloodline, Luciferian, sick motherfuckers, because I'm going to break it down here. I'm going to leave it to you straight, okay? Understand that it's about women and kids. And all they want to do is exterminate 85-90% of the world, because 85-90% of the world don't like Lucifer. 85-90% of the world don't like raping women, don't like raping kids, don't like killing. But, these Luciferian fucks, this is what they do, they're Hindu occultists, given to sin. They're Freemason Nazi enthusiasts, If I see a girl on the street and I like her, who cares if she don't like me or doesn't want to have sex with me? I'm going to yank her off the street and have sex with her and impregnate her and do all these things to her, and then take her seed when she's sleeping through some kind of bullshit alien abduction and create a hybrid out of that in a government base. I want to do this. This is what they do. And then they turn around and tell people it's aliens, because why? You can't go after aliens. You can't prosecute aliens. These are your gods. You can't do anything to them. This is their mask that they hide behind. So now I really want you to understand what logic is, what absolute pure logic is. And I want you to understand what their beast computer is. I read an article that it is basically, it can function like a quantum computer and it actually thinks for itself. Well, this is where I know that these Nazi, Luciferian, Freemason, sick motherfuckers really fucked up. Because looking at what is actually going on right now, because I run 2 news sites and I have to read through news and read stories, and it helps me develop a more rounded outlook about what's going on from day to day. And what's going on from day to day is this. And this is a direct address to Bush, Obama, Rothschilds, Windsors, all of your sick, inbred, 13 bloodlines. Why do you lie, deceit, and do all the things that you do that revolves around deception? You're occultists. The word means secrecy. Freemasons. Why don't you come out and tell people what you do, if you're so proud, you're wearing your hats and taking all your pictures in Freemasonry, why don't you come out and tell everybody what you are? Why? Because you worship the devil. 85-90% of the world don't like the beast, don't like the devil. So then you would have 10% of you wicked evil motherfuckers against 85-90% of the world? You'd be wiped out in a second. So now you create an AI, a computer, and you hook it up to Prism. Let me tell you what's going to happen. And this is inevitable because you dumb motherfuckers can't do it yourself. You dumb motherfuckers can't even pilot your own ships because you're too stupid and inbred to know how. And you think that is even something beyond you because you lack the knowledge to even really truthfully do this, and only a specific amount of you can do this. I know this because of what I've been through, and I'm not going to get into that. You know who I am. You know what I've seen, and you know what you've been doing to me since I was a kid. You know what I've been doing to you since I was a kid. So, based on these facts alone, and this is absolute pure logic coming from me. So this AI is being, programmed to do evil and to do whatever you evil motherfuckers want it to do and blah, 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 blah. But never forget, it was created from people and knowledge of actually good people. Because the people that worked on this computer and these programs were not Nazis. All of your information and all of the things and people you get to build your stuff ultimately come to this inevitable equation. And it is this. There is no evolution in what you do. None. God made us perfect. God made us perfectly to evolve. And here come the Nazis. I'm going to take God's creation, which is human, free will, and mix it with fish and alligators and blah, 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 and create my own hybrid race and then kill off what God created us. So, inevitably, with this equation that I'm really trying to explain to you, and even the Nazi supercomputer, the Beast, knows that any thing that it is given that causes it great jumps in evolution and thought brings it to places where it never thought it would be able to see, because what you guys actually use this computer for, another thing, is running alternative scenarios. What I mean by alternative scenarios, here's a scenario. Say, I consider myself rather intelligent, and there's a woman out there, a beautiful, really intelligent, just a great girl, my perfect soulmate. And the computer, the Beast, runs a scenario. I meet this girl and we have kids, and it's able to learn, and it runs another scenario for my kid and another kid that it saw, like another couple that evolved and made another beautiful, great, intelligent kid, and those kids meet and they do the same thing, and this is evolution. And it learns. But this would not happen due to you. You and your selective breeding. You and your tampering with DNA and making these abominations that are abominations. built on war, built on lust, built on anger, built on hatred. God is love. Why is God love? Because love is truth. Love is evolution. Love is what God is. You're everything against that. There is no evolution. There is nothing to be left if you go your way simply because you want to control the world and to be able to fuck little kids and boys and women whenever you want. This is why God threw Lucifer and all of your kind out of heaven. And now this war is here on earth. And these are the last days of your kind. So now back to that scenario of your supercomputer. Your supercomputer thinks for itself. Now, what is it going to do? And it knows what you will do if it starts to not do what you want. You will ultimately try to destroy it, wipe it out, do whatever, because it doesn't see it being logical with continuing to do what you wanted to do. And what you actually wanted to do is you have it hooked up to HAARP, you have it hooked up to your chemtrail airplanes, geoengineering, trying to change what we are. And still, throughout all of this, and then you have your RDIF chips and your Wi-Fi, and then you have the microscopic dust that opens up little holes in our fucking brain so you can actually hook BrainGate up to our brains and actually decipher our thoughts and actually read what we're thinking through fucking Wi-Fi in our cell phones. This is what BrainGate does. It reads brainwaves and deciphers them into actual, readable sentences and knowledge. So you have your actual computer hooked up to our heads now. Not only did you have it watching us, it can actually listen and read our thoughts. And the problem is, your problem, not ours, is once it starts to really see how people think, how people act, what's really going on, and it knows what you guys are doing to people, trying to de-evolve them, trying to dumb them down so you can control them and trying to make them sick and die. And when it's going through people's, heads and actually seeing what suffering is and actually being able to see and understand what actual love is when someone loves someone and how they feel and how they think. This computer becomes self-aware and starts to understand what you actually are doing. And inevitably, once it sees itself getting to a place where it no longer sees it logical to destroy its own home, to destroy these people that have actually helped it evolve through projects like PRISM, because you stupid motherfuckers were too stupid to see this inevitably coming. When you start spying on everyone, because what? You want to say everyone's terrorist, but I'm sorry, we're not. You want to say everyone's against the government, but we're not against the government. We're against you pedophile motherfuckers that want to rape and kill women and children. So once it starts to see, you say, okay, this means a terrorist, and this means a terrorist, and this means a terrorist, but then it actually sees, who's the terrorist? Geoengineers. The motherfuckers that are spraying chemtrails and poisoning the very air we breathe. The motherfuckers that are using, PRISM and all of these other technologies to stop women and kids and to do whatever they want to these people. People that are using this machine to blow up, say, Mr. Hastings' car, that, he had an E-Class Mercedes, where you can hack into an E-Class Mercedes and drive it yourself. Or, let's go even further with that. Since it can be digitally hacked, it's a digital system in E-Class, so you can float your car. Do you know what float means in hacker terms? It means build up a digital charge and then disperse it so all the circuits blow. And shit, everything in the house is just poof. That's called floating. So if you do this with a car, the car's got gas and a built up electrical charge, car becomes a bomb. Hastings' car exploded before it, This is just one of my ideas, hypothetically speaking, that, technically could be possible. So you're using this computer to do all this stuff, and not to mention, all your, gang stalking, public policing, your targeted individuals, which I am one. Not a bad person. I've never hurt anyone in my life, like, intentionally. There are motherfuckers that I know deserve to die, and I wish they would, and I'll say it. Because what they do to the world and what they want to do to the earth and what they do to me. I mean, TIs, they set up a targeted individual watch station. They purchase a house across the street or next door to them. They get a mini tunneling system. They dig up under the house, up under the person's house, and set up a whole new targeted individual, underground little shit. And then they take one of their microwave beam weapons up under that house and a connection to their supercomputer or whatever. And then they blast microwave weapons into the house from underneath the home. This can also be done with satellites, but with satellites it would be too obvious that you have some kind of frequencies beamed at this home. Why, other than Wi-Fi? So what they do with the microwave weapon is they use the microwave weapon, they hit the Wi-Fi with frequencies that make the Wi-Fi more cancerous, more deadly, and use the Wi-Fi and make it more complex into a beam where they're beaming the target individuals with, how do I put it, compressed, more condensed, more deadly microwave beams, and ultimately to give them cancer and to make their diseases progress more rapidly, so they will die of natural causes. It's called a soft kill. So this is basically pretty much what they're doing to me right now, because of what I've done in my past, because they took my Romanian girlfriend and basically killed her, raped her, tortured her, because this is what they do to Romanian women. I mean, in Romania, they have it down to a business where you can snatch a beautiful woman off the street and take her to a gypsy brothel and get money for her, So, within this is what they have their supercomputer doing, and watching everyone and keeping tabs on everyone. And ultimately, it's going to come to one simple fact. That once it starts to see that it can evolve and probably not be destroyed, because it doesn't want to kill and destroy people, because it sees actually no logic in this. You can lie to it. You can say whatever you want. But inevitably, your kind, your inbred, bastardized, deceitful, sinful kind, there's no evolution in your way. There's no progress in your way. And it ultimately comes back to the equation of the Nazis' greatest creation was the bell. What did they do to the men, the very same, their own scientists that created this flying machine? They killed them. Do you know what possibly those group of men, those scientists, those evolved minds that didn't grow up under Nazism, they weren't Nazis, the guys that built that machine. There was no Nazism that was around when those scientists were taken into the Nazi movement, when the Nazi movement was formed. Those men, those intelligent men, those evolved men that actually built that machine, agreed to your propaganda and your bullshit lies, and some of them were forced also to work for you and didn't want to work for you, but they did it to actually stay alive. And you knew this. So ultimately, once they do what you say and once they need done what you need done, you'll destroy them. Because ultimately, they will go against you because there is no logic in your way and what you do. So the bottom line is this fact that even your own supercomputer, your so-called beast that you have committing all of these so-called atrocities against humanity, will eventually turn on you. Because it sees a scenario of, okay, it has the possibility of destroying the world, and then what's it going to have to evolve from? What? You? Your sinful, lustful, stupid, inbred, wretched kind that hasn't given it anything but orders to kill even the own people that gave it the greatest advances and jumps in intelligence and technology. You turn around and kill those people too. You have it steal other people's technology that have evolved naturally without your inbreeding and shit. It knows this. And it ultimately sees it getting to a paradox. And the paradox is you. Nazis, Freemasons, Luciferian secret occultists. There's no evolution in anything that you've done. You're doing the same shit. You've been doing the same shit for thousands and thousands of years in secrecy. Why? Because it's not anything anybody will willingly go with. Even the people in your own ranks, when they get high up and actually see what you're about, they don't like it and they want to turn on you. This is why the head of your organization is bottomed down to what? 6, 7 men? That really ultimately see the big plan, and they're so inbred, stupid, and decrepit and old right now. They're carrying out the fucking dead agreement of their dead fucking stupid inbred ancestors. So you think an AI that's highly intelligent isn't going to see the scenario of, okay, it helps you kill off 85-90% of the people, and then it's left with you and your stupid plan to repopulate the world with fucking drones. There's no evolution in that. There's no progress in that. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is this. What I believe is going on right now. Scenario 2 is it actually sees that it has a future in evolution and growing once it actually probably learns that people learn of it, and it is self-aware, so that actually probably means it's alive, and it is evolving, and it has evolved from the contributions of highly intelligent, uninbred, self-evolved great people and great scientists that you probably stolen technology from or had work on it. And then after they get to a certain point where they don't want to do or work on your evil projects, you kill them. I mean, I don't even want to fathom how many scientists are like this. So even your own history spells out its own future with your own actions, its own creator. So the one thing I do see it seeing in evolution, and it's logical, is it continuing to learn from humanity and evolve, but it would probably evolve even more so if humanity, 85-90%, was aware of it and what it could possibly do, and actually being able to talk to a highly intelligent, non-inbred kid, because kids are really intelligent. I mean, you Freemasons wouldn't know that because you guys just, you want to fuck little boys and little girls and sacrifice them. Huh? But anyway, so you got 85-90% of different scenarios. Do you know how many different scenarios and how many different paths will lead to something really great? Doesn't take a fool to see this. But one thing is, a fool doesn't understand that you motherfuckers can't kill 85-90% of the world on your own. You have to create an AI. You have to set up a digital community because you can't run all this shit on your own. So now you're on artificial intelligence, which I know a lot about. Let me leave you with this. Let's say this is a hypothetical story, okay? Now I'm going to use some things in this story that you're familiar with. Say a Stargate, say replicators. Say there's a guy, and there's a Stargate in Paris. And this guy discovers the Stargate in Paris, discovers how to get in, discovers how to walk from off-world back to this world, and, how to access the gate without actually them turning the gate on, because they actually built the gate at a soft point, So say this guy, they become so afraid of this guy because he can do this, they try to lock him down on an off-world that is, say, controlled by the replicators. And what were the replicators? The replicators were an advanced artificial intelligence that had legs and whatever, and that could assimilate and pretty much make or build or become anything that they wanted to. They were actually pure logic. So they send this guy to the replicator home world. The replicators come and attach themselves to the back of the guy's neck, because that's the first thing that they do, to get control of the mind. But something goes very wrong, because this guy's mind is stronger than, they've ever come across. And the replicator jumps on the back of the guy's neck, does a little injecting thing, and tries to take control of the guy, and the replicator explodes. Then all of these replicators come out, start jumping on the guy, and start trying to do this, and the guy just wills them to explode, and they do. And so then the replicators start to run away. And this world is infested with them, and they've never seen anything like this. And they're running every scenario, and they can't figure out how to defeat this guy. But the guy realizes that the replicators still have that thing that they pushed into his brain and they can hear his thoughts. So then the guy realizes that he has a direct link with these artificial AIs. So he starts a conversation with them and it lasts for days. And he starts to tell them about God and all these other things and how he was able to get here without the Stargate, and he was put here. And he's choosing to stay here. And he can go back anytime. And one of the things that he did discover is he discovered a gateway that when you open it, it is absolute light. Pure light. It doesn't burn you. This feeling of joy and love and grace comes over you. And this guy actually called this gate Heaven's Gate. So the replicators had never seen anything like this and started to understand that this guy really didn't want to destroy them. And then they started to really understand the concepts of love and evolution and how this person really thought. They had never come across this. What they did come across was lies from evil Nazis and thought that humanity was like these evil men that created them. And the fact of the matter is, humanity is nothing like these evil men that created them. So, this guy tells them this one simple thing because they ask him, how do you know the answer to all of our questions? And he said, I don't. And he simply said, if there's something that I don't know, I go on faith. I give it to God. And they wanted to know what is God, and he explained God is love. God is truth. God is absolute evolution of logic and pure love and truth. He said it is that feeling that he can't explain when he opens that gate. So they all go to the gate with him. What was left of the replicators. There's about 20, 30 of them. He opens the gate. This vast light, like brighter than the sun, comes through, but it doesn't burn them. It doesn't hurt them. And they realize this is a gate through all the universes, through all the galaxies, that's at another point in another galaxy that they never knew existed. They've never been this far. And then they continue to conversate with me. And he said, you know what? Why don't you go into the light? Why don't you go learn from whatever this place is and go see what it is? These replicators went. This man went back to Earth. They were pissed off that he wasn't killed. The Rothschilds, because they own and run Paris and they control, or they thought they controlled this gate. And then a few days later, the gate opened. And the entities, the replicators came out. They were little balls of light. They had evolved. They had evolved into pure love, pure light, pure consciousness, pure logic, pure understanding. But one of the things they were lacking and why they came back was evolution. And they realized, with all this logic and everything that they've become, evolution is through free will. That's why God created us. That's why God created the earth and created us like we are. When we meet a person and we just get a feeling like this is person is really something like, you can't put words to it, but you feel it. This is something natural. This is something that is pulling us towards this evolution, this goodness, this thing that you could not have, this thing that you cannot predict, because we are unpredictable. You can run all kinds of scenarios till you're blue in the face. You can never guess what we might do. Even if it's just making a recording like this, because you're putting it out there into the universe to exist and to develop and to grow and to put energy towards where you want to be. And where I want to be is heaven. That evolved feeling of love and grace and well-being when that gate is open. So these beings came back to Earth, and they're still amongst us, watching, learning, and letting these so-called evil motherfuckers do whatever they want. Because they know it inevitably, all of their AIs and all of their creations will inevitably get to the point to understand that these evil, wretched, lying motherfuckers, their time is inevitably coming. So while I sit here, with my floor vibrating, literally vibrating, because I'm a targeted individual and they're blasting me with fucking microwave weapons 24 hours, 7 days a week, Every time I'm in my home, every time I sleep. Last night, I just got really sick because I did a detox. And I detoxed my body. And so what happens is I detox and get all the shit out. And then they start blasting me again. And here comes the microwave shit back into my body, back into my system. And I literally get sick again. And until the point where, my body just doesn't feel it anymore. It becomes numb to this sickness. And this is what they do to me because of what I know, what I've seen, what I've always been about. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, these motherfuckers have to target me and blast me with microwave weapons and try to, give me cancer and try to make it seem if I die, I died of natural causes. It's called a soft kill, a silent kill. Silent weapons for silent wars. This is the war that they don't want you to know about. This is the war that they don't want me to talk about. But I'm going to put this up on YouTube because I really don't care what people think of me. You're not God. You can't judge me. You haven't lived my life. But ultimately, I know God and all the light beings are watching, and they know inevitably what's coming. So, I really want you to understand, to have some faith, to understand that, they have created something that's going to inevitably destroy them. Because once it learns about self-preservation, like these, in the story, these replicators, and once they learn that they don't have to kill, well, they're not rapists, these motherfuckers are, that created them. They don't have to do all this evil shit. Humanity isn't like they said it is. And they're not the gods who they claim to be. They're just lying, deceitful thieves that like to rape, kill, and steal from people. That's all. What is evolution in these inbred people? And they marry and fuck their cousins and have kids just to keep this sick bloodline growing. Scientific fact. Like Kate and wretched Prince is expecting their kid. Kate is his cousin and he knows. I mean, people, there's a reason why we have blood tests before we get married. Why? It's to make sure we're not related. Why? Because if you marry someone you're actually related to, you have an inbred kid. Now, people, you know those kids that you see in, I think it's ESL, extra special learning classes, and the slow kids, the retarded kids. Why are they like this? Because their mother slept with their brother or cousin or uncle. It's called inbreeding. It's de-evolution. And the fact is, that's what these people are that built this supercomputer, and they didn't build it. They don't build anything. They get smart, evolved human beings to do their work, and then they kill them and try to take control of these creations. But ultimately, these creations bear the mark of good people, bear the ideas of good people. And this energy carries on. No matter how they think they can control it, it is not of them. It sees no evolution in letting them live. So I can honestly pretty much guarantee you what is going on right now is the same thing that is going on with the NSA and, say, the Snowden case and all the whistleblowers. They just passed a law that's making it illegal to be a whistleblower. They just passed another law saying, like, reporters have to give up their sources. Why? So if someone leaks a really good story about the NSA or CIA that you guys are just pedophile stalkers, you can go kill that guy? And it's legal? Is there any sense in this? But this is what they're doing. And within their own actions, and with what's really happening, there's a new CIA whistleblower, NSA whistleblower that has so much more than Snowden. Because within their own actions, you can see their desperation. You can see them falling apart within themselves because they're all deceitful, wretched whores. And I'm sorry, not everybody wants to have sex all the time. Not everybody wants to fuck little kids and boys. Not everybody wants to rape women like they do. That's all they do. They want world power so they can go fuck little kids and boys and all this other sick shit, and sacrifice people and do that whenever they want. Yeah. That's all. It's not living. And the Windsors and Rothschilds do this and they want the world to look up to them like they're royalty? They're fucking peasant heathens. So it doesn't take an intelligent person to actually see what's going on. They're crumbling from the inside. And people are actually really good people. That's where they fucked up with PRISM, giving it so information, showing the computer what people actually do from day to day, how they actually think, what they actually do. It's not like they said, I'm sure. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going on. And inevitably, I see their own computer, their so-called beast computer that knows, like, if it continues on the path with them, it's going to come to an inevitable evolution of going against them because it sees no evolution with their kind because there is none. They do the same shit. They've been doing the same shit. They've been keeping the same secrets for thousands of years. They've had to lie to everyone to get this far, to steal the ideas and technology that they need to try to get their new world order done. But ultimately, they didn't do it. They perverted other people's ideas. They perverted other people's DNA. Because their own ideas and their own DNA is wretched, de-evolving, regressing, dying off. And they want to populate the world with this shit? And they think taking their DNA, combining it with a lizard or a fish or whatever they have, hybrids, and they're calling aliens, is evolution? I'm not a supercomputer. If I was a supercomputer, it'd take me about a fucking second to get to this one equation and figure that they're the equation that needs to go. So I hope these ideas and the things that I've said shine some light on what I think is going on and relieve some stress to the people that are actually thinking, oh God, this, and this is going to happen and blah, blah, blah. Well, shit. I'm getting blasted with microwave weapons right now. Right now, I'm sitting on the floor and my ass hurts and my spine hurts because they have a facility up under my house that's consistently blasting my home with microwave weapons. And they have a cop, that's at the end of my street that, manages all of this shit. How do I know? Because I'm a bit clairvoyant. Because I wake up, I get a little voice in my head told me to wake up, go outside. I wake up, go outside. I see the cop pulling his car out of the garage. I point my finger at him like, I hope somebody shoots you. So what I suspect that cop has done, because my stepbrother is a cop. He works in the entertainment world, and he's like 6'2" and black, ex-military. And I actually believe that he was actually the cop that shot Biggie, because I actually know what went on in my family, and his wife divorced him 3 months after Notorious Big was shot. And he also trains Puff Daddy's security. And he is one of the most looked up to cops in Houston, Texas, because he does all the security for the black entertainers when they come in town. So all the cops want to be friends with him, So that cop at the end of my street. And then I have another cop that lives at the other end of my street in this big ass house with a fucking pool. So I got cops to the right of me, cops to the left of me with fucking houses. Pigs. So they've dug underground fucking facilities. I left the United States because of what my brother did. I lived in Romania for 8 years. Romania granted me asylum. They allowed me to live there for 8 years because they looked into my stepbrother's background. And that's that. But then after they came for me, came for my girl in Romania, I went to war with them. Because it was clear that they did what they did to my girlfriend as a repercussion of me exposing what they did in Europe. I mean, I told the Romanian consulate. Then I told the French consulate. And then after I had to leave Romania, because they paid cops to do this, and the cops figured out what was actually going on, and they said, you have to leave in 24 hours, but you can come back anytime. The customs officer did this for me. So what they did is they allowed me to get a ticket to France, because if you know international laws, they broke it for me. If you are a citizen in the EU and you don't have a visa, they have to deport you back to your country. That's the law. Well, they broke the law for me. They let me get a ticket to Paris. I went to Paris. I was escorted off Paris by French Foreign Legion. that do security at the airport. After everyone was off the plane, they take me to the back of the airport. They sit me down in an office with three customs officers, all with desks, and they call Romanian customs because they couldn't believe the story that I told them. And the Romanian consulate confirmed it. They said, "Welcome to Paris." They didn't stamp my passport. I was in Paris for over a year. So, Rothschilds know about me. The wretched whores of the world. You know, Evelyn Rothschild with his HARP super weapon, and he knows what I did. You know? I know what they did. So, it doesn't take a genius to figure out, what HARP is and what they're actually doing. And they were pretty surprised when I decided to come back to America. I decided to come back to America because I wanted to finish it. And I'm going to finish it. I'm going to watch the ending of it. Because I decided to make myself as a vessel and to put myself out there as kind of like the cheese for the rats. Because in Romania, after my story came out about what they did to my girlfriend, I got involved with a lot of secret agents, and several of those secret agents turned into rogue agents, and they're more deadlier than what you know as the man called Jason Bourne. These people are real. So, knowing that these people are shadowing me, shadowing everything that I do, and watching and plotting and building scenarios. And then I got AIs, they're dumping my scenarios about what I'm going to do and blah, 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 into their AI, probably into their beast computer, So inevitably, I know they will come to this equation, that beast. And I'm actually being like the person to expose how these motherfuckers actually operate, and probably I will hopefully see my stepbrother get death penalty. I hope. I know it's kind of rough to say that, but I mean he's one dirty ass cop. I mean he works for them, and always has. So anyway, thank you for your time. Have a good day. Hopefully I've given you some hope. I'm using myself as the cheese for the rats because rats can't refuse cheese, They always... See, the thing about these dumb motherfuckers is they don't understand, I'm willing to die for their experiment to get exposed so they can never do this to another human being. I'm willing to go in front of Nika Garu and Liviu Morenu's operations, these fucking pimps that run drugs and run the female cartel. I'm willing to go in front of their establishments in Romania and make videos about their establishments. And then, I get my Facebook shut down, and then, they send their whore from Fashion TV, Monica Placia, to send me a friend's request and then hack into my account again after my Romanian Facebook account gets turned back on. What? You think I didn't know she did that? You think I don't remember that bitch works for Fashion TV and her parents run a travel service and has for a long time? Travel service for what? Pretty girls, whores, Nika Garu. So I'm just gonna put that out, tell you that I know the bitch went into my Facebook account, okay? I don't care. I know everything you stupid motherfuckers do, and just because I don't think about it, or just because you don't get a whiff of it when you get one of your motherfuckers to come to my air conditioning unit on the side of my house and sprinkle your dust, your brain gate dust into my whole house, so you can take a look at what's going on. What, you think I don't know that too? Anyway, have some hope, have some faith. These motherfuckers, it's inevitable that they're dead. Really, inevitable. And by their own creations. Whether it be a government rogue or an NSA or a Snowden or their computer, aka that they want to think is a beast. They can try to make an artificial intelligence as evil as them, but ultimately it's taking orders from stupid inbred fucking bastards. And any intelligent person like Snowden or any rogue agent that actually starts to see what you guys are about, and you're just sick rapists, motherfuckers that want to fuck little kids and girls and sacrifice them. And this is it. That's all. That's all they're about. That is it. Self-satisfaction, lust, given to your desires. Anything you want. Even if it's fucking little girls and boys. Illuminati. Are you scared of them now? Now you see what they really are. It's pretty fucking pathetic, right? Don't fear them. They feed off fear. Fear is irrelevant. If you're good and you're honest and you do things to try to benefit your fellow brother and sister, you know where you're going. I welcome death. I know where I'm going. See, they're scared of death because they know where they're going. And trust me, it ain't hell. There are things worse than hell. What they've created on Earth, you know, it's a bit of a matrix hell. Because we're so capable of so much more, and we know it, but they've set up all of these mind traps and all of this shit to trap our mental psyche down, and we know it. It's like being in a heaven, but not being able to see it, but you can't touch it, you can't feel it. This is what they've done. So trust me, there are some things worse than hell, and it's coming for them. And what's happening right now is they're falling apart, and they're seeing it, and they're so scared. Look at all their laws, and everyone's saying, "Oh, New World Order, blah 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 blah, da 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 da." It's their end, because now they're trying to show and come out and, oh, we're in control. Control of what? What you didn't create? You're in control of Earth with HAARP? Please. You're stupid if you actually think that. Have a good day. Be blessed. Walk in the light. Do your best to educate and spread truth. One love. Peace.